This is Popping the Bubble with hosts Sandra Ponce de Leon and Pete A. Turner.
So Sandra, we have been trying to reveal ourselves to our listeners so they can get to know us better. You are fantastic in the whole marketing PR world. I thought maybe we could take some time to kind of learn about what it is that you do, because it's such a big universe, like creating awareness, top of mind.
Is.
You can specialize in 100 things and be sort of like an all over. You can be very focused in, I just do this. So give us an idea of what your specialty is.
Well, I consider myself an entrepreneurial marketer. What I mean by that is that I've worked with startups my entire career here in San Francisco mainly, and I've worked very closely with CEOs and startup founders and really done it all. I mean, from a startup perspective, there's some very unique challenges to marketing, which are usually based on budget. I'm able to creatively leverage resources as well as tap into my experience working with so many startups and really come up with great solutions for startups to get the word out about themselves.
What are some of the other barriers that are out there for entrepreneurial people? I mean, obviously a budget, but everybody knows you have to invest in. Absolutely. You have to do it. So what are the other barriers?
I think that probably the biggest challenge is the if you build it, they will come mentality, which unfortunately doesn't work. There's only a handful of unicorns in this world, and everybody thinks they are the next unicorn, but frankly, that really doesn't pan out.
Right.
So there's only so many Ubers, so many Facebooks, and as we've been learning, talking to so many founders here, it's really a struggle to get to market, to get to scale. You really need to have someone that has a wide breadth of experience that they can tap into. My own marketing toolkit is very vast. I've got experience on the B2C side, on the B2B side. I've worked for SaaS companies in innovation, ad tech, mobile, Android, iOS. Having that breadth of experience, I'm able to really pull from the different disciplines to find what it is that is going to work best. Because sometimes it's really about, especially starting out or getting off the ground, honing in on, what's the one thing that you can do that's going to be most effective or move the needle for you. Ultimately, I always advise companies to have a multidisciplinary approach or a holistic approach to their marketing, in that you don't want to just look at Facebook ads, for example. You want to, understand what's happening seasonally that you can leverage, whether it's an event or whether fall is coming and it's back to school, and tie your campaigns so that they're going across multiple channels. So you may have a PR strategy, you may have a paid strategy, you may have an earned strategy, you may want to do Facebook ads, you may want to do SEO. If you're launching a mobile app, you may want to do ASO. And then also there's the business development, the strategic business development component. So you want to be able to partner with companies that are synergistic and that can help you both promote your own goals together. So those are just some of the things that I guess I bring to the table.
I picture you showing up with like a Snap-on tool truck. There's a Snap-on guy that sells tools.
I have a toolbox. I actually do.
Yeah. So you show up with this truck and you're like, do you need a hammer? Do you need this kind of hammer? Do you need this kind of, or do you need a mallet? Oh, let's talk about dead blows, because you've got all these tools. It's incredible. And I was going to ask you, if I'm sitting there and I'm an entrepreneur and I'm trying to improve marketing, I love the person I have. Why do I need you? What do you bring to the table that I can give to my marketing person that's there? And maybe they're at 75% of where I think they could be. How do you deal with something like that?
Sure. Well, I bring a strategic perspective to the table, just having done this so much, and also a very influential personal network that I've built over the years, being here based in Silicon Valley. And I think one of the things that I love and I feel so fortunate to have is access to so many great people, leaders, founders, influencers. So I bring that to the table. I also bring the experience that I've had. So I can tell you whether a campaign is going to fall flat or if you should try something else. So I think that, having an objective eye into what you're already doing, providing perspective, helping on positioning, perhaps, sometimes founders and people that are really immersed in their companies have a very difficult time taking a step back and really getting into the minds of their audiences. So I really help with honing in on that positioning so that it's easily digestible. I mean, we all have short attention spans. And, also just, helping to provide additional support and resources and maybe help that marketing person gain additional experience or get some new ideas that they wouldn't have necessarily had before.
You touched on an important point that I've found through my experience where you bring a specific knowledge and you hear someone say, we're going to create a marketing plan. Mm-hmm. Like one of the things that bugs me, my pet peeve is like, we want someone with good communication skills.
Right.
What does that mean? Mm-hmm. I have good communication skills. Okay, great. Describe for me, what. And so there's no depth of knowledge. And I look for that richness of experience when I hear people say things. This is one of the tools I use when I do my cultural work. What are some of those things that you're looking for when someone says, we want to do marketing?
Well, I think the first thing to start with is your goals and objectives, right? Mm-hmm. And also, frankly, what's your budget? A lot of things can't just happen for free. Yes, there's a lot of work that you can do that's grunt work that you can just grind out and connect with people online and write blog posts and do content marketing and SEO. I mean, that's, all, so to speak, free work that you can do internally or teach yourself to do. But, that is also an investment of resources, and do you have the right person investing in those resources? Or are you going to have to go external? And if you go external, then you really do need to make a good budget or understand, what you're going to invest in your marketing. Because without investing in marketing, again, the whole if you build it, they will come doesn't necessarily work.
Yeah. Yeah, I hate when people say that.
Me too. The startup metaphor for that, or the startup word for that, is going viral.
Going viral. We're going to go viral. Yeah. When you have these free things that you can do, you should be doing those things already. I mean, those are investments that you should already be making into your business since they're quote unquote free. And if you're not doing them, your competitors are.
Right. Yeah, I think that the one other thing, just to add to that, for me, really having a strong foundation is incredibly important, and that starts with your brand. Okay. What does your brand convey? What do you want your customers to feel when they see and look and feel your brand? And that brand experience is something that really needs to be established at the beginning and needs to be cohesive across every single touch point that you have with your customers. So that's another thing that when I look at a company, I look at, their branding and, does it make sense? Does it convey their aspirational goals and what they want to portray themselves to be, right? And a lot of it is aspirational. You may not necessarily, Uber, for example, probably didn't start out being the way for everyone in the world to get around without owning a car, right? They were specifically just town cars here in San Francisco, and it was a way to get around, in a classy way to get around, right?
Sure.
So it doesn't, your brand aspirations, it may not be what the reality is at that moment, but it's something that you aspire to, right? So having that aspiration, it really does help drive the rest of your marketing, the rest of your messaging, and the way that you present yourself to your customers.
These are incremental changes too, right? You need someone sort of guide the effort, because it's not building it and you'll come. It's slowly making progress, adding 0.5% of improvement each day.
Absolutely.
As you shepherd companies through this process, how do you help them see that this progress is happening? Because it's incremental. We talk about iterating all the time here in the Silicon Valley.
Well, you can always have milestones and goals. Mm-hmm. And I mean, that is something you should have. So looking at a particular campaign or perhaps a placement, maybe you want to get an exclusive in a high-end tech publication. That's a milestone right there. So that's the way that you measure it, really. It's not just this touchy-feely, everybody feels great.
Right.
You actually you can and you should tie it back to your sales and the traction that you're getting and your website visitors or your downloads. So it's very, very measurable, actually.
So the value you bring a lot of times is this network. When someone hires you to come and help with marketing, you bring the years of experience that you have, but also the relationships. So when it comes to getting into the right publication and being covered, you've done this.
I have, yes.
You know these people.
And it's great. It's so much fun when you can actually align your network in the right way to bring that real impact that's mutually beneficial for both parties, right?
Right.
You know, journalists want to write great stories. Companies want to get great coverage.
Right.
And when you can align the two and make that perfect match, it's so exciting and so much fun.
Yeah, because I guess you have to maintain the relationship on both ends. You can't just bring your person at whatever magazine it is a bunch of crap just because you're working for them.
You have to bring value to the table, absolutely.
Right, both sides. Yeah, that's fantastic. Give us an example of just one of your wins where you're like, I am killing it. This client is getting so much value out of what I'm doing.
Well, I think, very recently, actually just this week, I will be seeing a client have an exclusive placement in VentureBeat.
Oh,
and
wow.
That was really fun to take on. Actually, the client is Verve.ai, which is an awesome technology company that applies artificial intelligence to really every aspect of business, but most importantly in sales and marketing, where you need to have a real holistic view of the customer and apply those learnings that you can get or those social cues that you can get to and apply them to the conversation. So to facilitate the business, I was able to place them, get an exclusive coverage for them in VentureBeat. So that's just fresh in my mind. So it was very exciting
that counts.
to have that happen. Yeah,
That's
and
good.
We're really excited about it, and I'm looking forward to doing more work with them. But a lot of that work also prior to my reaching out to my contact at VentureBeat was actually helping them massage their positioning because, again, they were so immersed in the technology that for me as a marketer, I needed to help them bring it down to my level so it was understandable. And I knew their audience because I am their audience. I've been a marketer. I've bought these kinds of technologies. So it was really important for them for me to distill it down to a place where I, as a marketer, would be able to understand their offering and would be compelled to buy it, right?
Yeah, that's such a great point. In the work that we do, talking with all of these great entrepreneurs and founders and everything, we hear a common theme from other things that I've done as well. One is you have to do all the hard work.
Yep.
You have to be in the workshop because that's where the magic happens, and it may not happen for 15 days in a row, but if you've been there there's something good coming from that work. The other thing is it's about the product for sure, but it's more about the interaction with the people that you need to talk to make your product mean something to somebody else. You can't just be focused on your little baby. You have to be out talking about the marketplace and understanding it. And to hear you say that, it just resonates again one more time, is the effect of building a machine. Great. That's fantastic. You have to do that. But if nobody cares, if you can't create...
You have to make people care. So you have to tell the story in a way that it makes it compelling.
Yeah. And then I will say this as sort of a kudos to you. When I talk to you, if I'm in a certain mood and it's not, and I try to be positive and, full of love and everything, but if I'm not there, I talk to you, you have a light, you evoke in me a very good response. And I know that well, it's true. And you're welcome. But it's 100% the truth. And what you do for me is you get me to say, all right, I'm in the workshop, I am working. And even though today may suck, also we're doing this. And I know that you bring that kind of energy and light to clients because you can't help it. It just shows up with you. It's like when you show up with your tool van, you're like, hey, everybody, I'm here, And so just to your benefit, thank you so much for doing that. And it's just anybody who needs that expertise, that evocative persona that you have, they're going to love that. So
thank you so much. Well, I think it's about loving what I do and being passionate about it and wanting to help my clients succeed and having a lot of fun.
Where do people find you so that they can hire you?
They can find me on LinkedIn. My name is Sandra Ponce de Leon, as well as Twitter. I'm SandRamp on Twitter. email, Sandra, PDL at Gmail.
Hit us up here on the show page too, Popping the
Absolutely.
Bubble.
Yeah.
Popping
Yeah.
the Bubble with no E in the end. All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.